Okay, today we're going to look at subtracting integers. Okay, so we've learned how to add, so you can add. So if you can add, then you can subtract, no problem. You can change any subtraction problem into an addition problem by adding the opposite. So you're actually going to make it an addition problem, and that you know how to do. So just remember this, you're going to keep, change, change when you have a subtraction problem. That means you're going to keep the first number the same, you're going to change the minus to a plus, and then change the second number to its opposite. So keep, change, change. So let's just look at example number 1. You do not need to use the rule for this one. This is 13 minus 8. You know how to do this. You can take 8 from 13, no problem. So don't get confused. Just use common sense. You should know how to subtract 13 minus 8. And it is just 5. So don't use this rule and get confused by it. You can still do the basic problems such as these. Now if you look at this one, you have 3 minus 12. If you have 3 M&Ms, you can't take away 12. It's going to end up being in the negatives. So this is where we're going to use our rule. Keep, change, change. So we're going to keep the 3, change the minus to a plus, and that 12 is going to become its opposite of a negative 12. So we keep, change, change. Now remember from the past lessons that we have the different signs we're actually going to subtract and keep the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. So if we look over here, we're going to subtract. That'd be 12 minus 3, which is 9. And the number with the highest absolute value would be this negative 12. The absolute value is 12. So our answer will be 9, but it will be a negative 9 because we're going to take the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. And that is our answer. Example number 3. We have a negative 14 minus 9. Also a problem that you're not used to doing. So we're going to use our rule, keep, change, change. We're going to keep the first number, change the minus to a plus, and then that 9 will then become its opposite, negative 9. So once again, we're going to remember that here we have same signs, negative plus a negative. So same signs, we're going to add and keep the sign. So 14 plus 9 is going to give you 23, but we're going to keep that negative sign. So the answer to this problem is a negative 23. Example number 4. Once again, you're going to see problems like this where you have more than 2 numbers that you're adding or subtracting. We're going to first keep, change, change to both of these. This is a little different than whenever we were adding because you got some more steps to do. So you got to keep, change, change to both. So we're going to keep that 0, change the minus to a plus, and then that 8 becomes a negative 8. It's opposite. Now, don't get confused at this part here. Now we're going to kind of keep this negative 8, change the minus to a plus, and then that negative 4 becomes a positive 4. Meaning we're not going to change that positive 8 back into a positive 8 here. We're going to keep, change, change. So it's going to be we keep the 0, change, change, then keep, change, change. So now we're going to do order of operations and do our 0 plus negative 8 first. Here, don't get confused once again. Anything that you add to 0 is going to remain the same. So that's going to be a negative 8. We're going to bring down that plus 4 because we have not used it. And then we're going to use our rule that opposite signs you're going to actually subtract. Different signs subtract. we're going to keep the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. So here we have a negative 8 plus 4. So we're just going to say 8 minus 4 is 4, and we're going to keep the sign of our highest absolute value. In negative 8, the absolute value is 8, so it is higher than 4. So that is our answer. Okay, example number 5. Just like we were able to add on a number line, we can do our subtraction too by using our rule keep, change, change. So we're going to keep our 3, change the minus to a plus, and then that 4 becomes a negative 4. So just like addition, we've now changed it to an addition problem. We're going to start with that first number 3, and then when we're adding a negative number, we're moving to the left. So we're moving to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That represents a negative 4. And now we end up at a negative 1. And that is our answer. And you can also check that by just thinking about our rule. 3 plus a negative 4, you're going to actually subtract 4 minus 3, which gives you 1. And then you're going to take the sign of the number with the highest absolute value. So you get the same thing, just a different method. Okay, I want you to try these on your own, see what you can do.